Hello, I'm a BX Toy Cat, and welcome back to the video. So it's actually been quite a while since I've done one of these inspiration-style videos where I give you ideas on how you can kind of make Minecraft a little bit more fun, because a lot of people do request these every now and then, like, Toy Cat, I'm a little bit bored, what do you recommend I do in Minecraft? So here are some ideas relating to how you can build your next Minecraft house. And I don't mean your next Minecraft house should be like, oh, made it out of cobblestone, it's so different to other houses. I mean like fundamentally game-changing ideas for your next house, and hopefully you do all enjoy this video, hopefully it inspires you in some way, and if you do all like it, let me know, because it helps out the channel, and let us know you do like these style of videos. And with that said, let's get straight into the first one here, which is the least crazy, and it's the one to introduce you to, like, oh yeah, here's an easy concept. If you like building regular people houses, but you just want to change it a tiny bit, maybe you should try building a house without a roof on. So the reason you haven't been able to do this for quite some time normally in Minecraft is because since some point in the beta, I think it was, they made it so that spiders can actually climb up walls, which means if you have an open sky like this, then obviously, you know, spiders are going to climb in, and it's not good for you in that particular way. So yeah, the reason that it's so much better now, and that, you know, you can kind of do it, is because obviously if you have a lip around the outside, the spider can't get out, and basically this means you can have an open roofed house, which is so unique because most houses just assume, yep, roofs are essential in Minecraft, because otherwise, you know what happens, spiders come in and they kill you. So yeah, this is a much better solution to that, because obviously if you just have your roof open and have a lip, then it means you can actually see the stars when you go to sleep each night, which, by the way, just to show you quickly, so let's turn it to night quickly, you can actually see, like, you know, the sky's pretty, even though it's just a moving little texture. Being able to see the stars, being able to see the moon, it's a really nice thing to see as you go to bed, which looks something like this, and I rather do quite like it personally. So yeah, if you like seeing the stars at night, which seems like a small thing, this is the first suggestion. And yeah, this is the one that's relatively simple in comparison to everything else. It really is just, oh, change the time of day and things kind of get better. But the second idea is a little bit more complex than that, because it is using building as like an art form, or building a house as an art form. And I think one of the most interesting things about building bad houses in Minecraft is to make a really bad house, you actually need to be good at building so you can know how to not do everything. And by that, what I mean is, like, look at this house right here. I put so much effort into, like, mixing up all the blocks and trying to just make it awful, like it's built on top of the farm. But even then, you can see how the house actually isn't too awful. It doesn't scream awful. When you look at it, you're like, yeah, that's a bad house, but is it the worst house in the world? And that's why I recommend, as my second idea, try and make the worst house you humanly can. It's a surprisingly hard challenge. Like, I had to go around and actually change things over and over again to try and get something, because if you just try and make something that doesn't look like a house at all, or that uses a bit too many different things, then, you know, it's overload, and it doesn't quite work the same way as if you do something really simple. Like, look at this house right here. It's only actually slightly bad. Like, it's just made from dirt with a random cobblestone and some, you know, wood and stuff, but it's bad enough that you look at it and you're just like, this is one of the worst house ever. Whereas you look at that and it's bad, but, you know, it's trying too hard to be bad. And again, that's what I mean by, there's a certain, like, layer of complexity to trying to make the worst house in Minecraft, and maybe this, you know, you look at this and you're like, well, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I should try and make the worst house I've ever seen. And if you do, either post it in, I don't know if you can post images in comments, but, like, either tweet it at me or, like, post it on my, you know, try and get some way to me, because I love seeing bad builds in Minecraft. It's like one of my little things. And yeah, if you have any of that, tweet it at me, put it in the comments with a link, or whatever you need to do, but I would love to see your attempts, because it's a surprisingly fun hobby to, you know, it's a challenge to make something that's awful in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So with that said, let's move on to the third idea here, which is actually for a house that works based on perspective. So the first idea here is because chests, even on the PC, I have no idea exactly why, actually only render when you get a certain distance away from them. So you can have houses which don't exist at certain angles. Let's show this again. As you can see from over here, the house just stops really existing. So, oh, the chests de-render, and it means that something can only exist when you're nearby, which is kind of interesting enough by itself. But the second idea in a perspective house, which is the one that I'd love to see more fleshed out, and I'm going to have to go at this at a weird angle just so the illusion works. Basically, let me just, okay, right now, I'm going to turn around, and as you can see behind me, I've got myself a red nether brick, and a red nether brick in an L shape. So these are kind of interesting blocks, but the cool thing about them is they allow for this really simple perspective trick, which you can use to do some pretty cool stuff, in my opinion. So we just, you know, if we stay like this, and we just walk forwards, as you can see, more blocks are going to pop out of that block, and it's a really cool thing, because, oh, yeah, my one block is hiding so many, and you can do this with, like, layers to make, you know, cool little, you know, like, you can make your walkways to a house really cool with this, if you want something practical, but if you just want to make a really cool house which is really well hidden behind other stuff, you can do it this way. Obviously, you know, from different angles, the house isn't quite so well hidden, which is that one back there, but the fact that you can hide stuff behind other blocks, and if it's done correctly, that's a really weird thing, but if it's done correctly, you can do some really interesting stuff that I quite like. So yeah, here's the house right there. No one expects the floating red never brick house, and that's why you should totally do this, especially if you make it up past the point where people usually aren't going to be able to get. Like, if you know that this is the edge of the world, and most people are looking from this angle here, no one is going to know that there's a block behind the other block, and yeah, there's just some really cool spacing stuff you can do with that just blows people's minds, and maybe that's something you might like. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the fourth idea here, which is the reason, by the way, that eating this golden carrot has taken me a solid, 10 seconds now, and there we go. Yeah, the fourth idea for a house that's really out there is one that's a bit more fun in multiplayer servers, if, it's the sort of one that, you just want to kind of stake your territory and kind of, I guess, make it so people don't want to come nearby you. You've got valuable stuff to guard, because it's a way to defend your house that makes people not even want to look at it. So, yeah, the cool thing about lag houses on Minecraft console, at least, is they only seem to affect you when you're looking at them. This is mostly due to item frames. But yeah, over here you can see frame rate's just fine. It's roughly 60. I'm pretty sure it's exactly 60. The frame rate's running entirely fine. Everything is all good until you look in the direction of the house, where, as you can see, look at the slowdown you face there. And as I run towards it, you'll see it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until suddenly everything's a little bit stuttery. But yeah, basically, the low FPS / lag house is an idea I really do quite like, because again, it encourages people not even to look at your stuff, which is, again, a bizarre concept by itself. It's got a bunch of weird stuff that happens here, and it's just a little cool, by the way, if we step on the minecarts, it's a cool way to protect your stuff by just making people not want to go near it, because you can even have lag alarms activate. So I'm sure you guys have seen that I have the firework launchers. If you activate those at the same time, you can literally freeze, you can freeze the game in some ways, which I know this is kind of on the abuse end of doing random stuff, but you know, it's a thing that exists in the game, and if you want to use it to protect your house, have a tripwire which activates the firework launchers, then you could totally do that to say, hey, no, don't go near the house. And yeah, it's an idea I do quite like. So just a few things to note: please don't do this in any worlds that you don't know the host and you're not friends with them, and it's not a good joke, because just bear in mind that if you do this sort of thing, the whole world gets affected in certain ways. So for instance, you might have seen it earlier, but ender pearls are really, really slow just by virtue of being in the same world as any form of lag like that. So let me show you what I mean by that, because if I fire this ender pearl up, you might think, oh, it'll hit the ground in, 20 seconds or something. And you might just about see it there, but wait, there's no ender pearl over there. Oh, because it's stuck in the sky. Yeah, something, I don't know why it is or how that logic even works, but basically, the ender pearls are actually tied to their, oh, wait, we're going to get there eventually. The ender pearls are pretty much tied to their somewhat amount of the game thing, which means that if you fire an ender pearl in a world that's got some lag source in it, then just like that, it takes that long to ender pearl, which also means that you can use this house as the anti-ender pearl rod, oh, I hate being killed by ender pearls, because that happens all the time. Why don't we make it so they're all awful? So yeah, I know, that's just an interesting idea that I thought you might all enjoy. Again, please don't abuse that in worlds that you're not good friends of the host with, because that's just a bad move in general. I always recommend that if you're doing anything like this, it's got to be as a fun joke, because otherwise you're just being, that douchebag no one wants to be friends with. And, if you're the douchebag no one wants to be friends with, then fun fact, you won't end up with many friends, which is, oh, there we go. Which is why you should do this as either a joke or as part of a world where it is, for strategic purposes, not just, I'm breaking people's games. So anyway, with that said, I hope you did all enjoy this video. Hopefully you're inspired in some way now. Again, I like to do these little things, because so many people asked, hey, Toycat, I'm kind of bored of Minecraft, what should I do? Here's some inspiration if house building is your thing. If you want to see more of these inspiration-style videos, like the video, let me know. If you didn't like this, let me know in the comments down below, or the dislike on the video that, oh yeah, none of these ideas really struck me. I was looking for ideas oh yeah, build a house out of spruce wood or something, not build a house that's actually hidden behind a single block or, stuff like that. I'd love to hear your feedback and stuff on this in the comments down below, because I like doing stuff a little bit wacky, but maybe we should tone it down, or maybe we should tone it up. I don't even know. You tell me, because you're the person with the comments and I'm just a cat on the internet. Anyway, with that said, I hope you did all enjoy the video, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.